Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Limitless Reptiles, and we're doing one of those quick little clutch updates we talked about. We're going to do these when they're fresh hatched or fresh set out when we set them up. Why are we doing it that way this year? Because we always start this, we always fuck it up, and we never get it done. So by doing it right now, then we're not going to screw that up, right? Because we're going to show them to you as they come out. So these are all set out. These are ready to be set up. This is clutch number 4, which is going to be a lot of scaleless head stuff. So if memory serves, this was a scaleless head lemon blast. It wasn't bled, it was bred. Don't bleed your snakes. Bred to a fire yellow belly. It was just kind of one of those, I didn't know what I really wanted to put to her, so we want to do some more scaleless head stuff. This is probably all going to be things that we end up selling, so I'll be sales fodder. We're looking for some total scaleless a little later in the year, so for this, I'm not overly concerned with holding back any of this. I have all of this except for the yellow belly already and scaleless head, so there's really not a need. So we're going to go ahead and start by pulling these out. Whichever one I can get to first. You come out. So this little baby here, as you can see, pretty good expression of scaleless head right there. I don't see yellow belly here at all. See, the belly, it's not showing. What we have here is just a pastel scaleless head. Nothing else going on. Not a bad little animal. Let's check under the hood. Appears to be a little girl. So what we'll do here is we'll finish our label, which, boom, This is a boring part you have to watch because we're setting them up while we do this, right? We'll put this in the computer later. Sorry, I know this sucks. Female. So then Kayla's going to keep, you can see with the skins on here, this is like they're just hangout tub, right? So once they're laid, they hang out in this tub until we separate them out. Then go put her up. We'll do the next one. We've already got the tubs built for them in here. Ready to go. There you go. See dirt for the first time. You'll like it. Alright, so we'll pull out another snake. I think I got a tick biting me on the ankle. No, if it just feels like it. Man, I tell you what, we live out in the woods. I'm not saying in the woods, I mean in the damn woods. I have been tick bit in the back of the knee, one of my ass cheeks, which is going to probably leave a scar, everywhere. My feet, like everywhere. It is not a lot of fun. That's one of the bad things about living out here. Next we're going to pull is this one here. So this one here could be a pin scaleless head, or it could be a fire pin scaleless head. I think the fire is here right now. That's what we're going to look at. I'll show you something really cool in a second, just because it's really bright. We'll compare to here, Although this one's really bright, but this one's a lighter color. This one's more of a rich color. So I don't know, but the pattern, this is where it gets funky, right? Because the scaleless head can affect the pattern. The pattern is much reduced. That's more of a traditional pin pattern. You got all the dots there and kind of connected down the back. Here it's pretty broken up. You don't have much of the dotting. So, I don't know. You know what? We're just going to call it pin scaleless head for now. I talked myself out of the fire for the moment. We can always add it back in later. Probably the best expression of the scaleless head you're going to see. You can really see how much of that is missing and gone. So, really, really nice little snake there. And again, we're going to look under the hood. The fire will show up on these two if it's there in a little bit. That one's a dude, so we simply set that there. We remove that. We can get rid of the pastel part. This is going to be a pin. Shit, I didn't change the number. Did not change the number. Garbage. So if you don't change the number, it can really fuck shit up. So you always got to remember to change the damn number. Yay! And again, for those of you wanting to get into this, these will all be available when they get that the size. So another cool thing, when a snake is born, it actually is going to weigh more than it is when you set it up. I know that sounds really weird, but they're born with a full belly of yolk. So if we were to weigh these when they were born, which I don't know what they weighed, we weigh it now, it's actually going to drop weight. So these are all probably in the 70s when they're born. They're going to kind of absorb that yolk, drink a little water, you know, but they're going to drop a little bit of weight early on and then they'll start eating. The snake is ready for its first meal now. We'll go ahead and set this one up. Did not wash off all the dots on my tub. I'll do that later. So the next one we'll pull is going to be this one here. And the reason for that is going to be just because I have less erasing to do when I write pen. So this one here, you look at the head. When you look at a scaleless head clutch, they're not all going to have a lot of scales missing. You'll see that in a minute. When you look here, I want you to look. I don't see any scales missing. So then look at the pattern of the scales. What you're going to see on this snake is that pattern is very consistent. All scales are equal size. This is not a scaleless head. So, I mean, you can look at the tail. I haven't looked see it as a split scale. It doesn't appear to be. That's also a marker, not 100%. But we got to look at this butthole anyway. Little female. So this is another one that, man, the color is really nice. So it's called milliliters. Why did it do that? So it could be, end up being pounds and ounces. I don't want pounds and ounces. That's what I want. So it could end up being, you know, a fire as well. But the fire is going to show itself with another shed or two. So I don't get in a big hurry to like claim fire, right? Like I'd rather wait. I can always add it in there. It's not a big deal. So we'll print that out. Go put her up. We'll talk about that when I get back and identify. I'll yell about it. So when it comes to identification of snakes and you're identifying babies, you know, one of the things I like to do is if I'm not confident it's there, you know, especially if it's not a snake I'm going to keep, I would rather say, it's not there, and be wrong that way, than be like, oh, fuck, that's there, and be wrong that direction. You know, like, why would you want to be wrong? I mean, yeah, I could say, oh, yeah, fire is definitely there, and I could charge more money for it, but if I'm wrong, I look like an asshole. So I'd rather say, hey, it could be, until I get sure of it, and then if I'm sure of it, okay. But until I'm fairly certain, like 99%, 95 to 99%, I'm not going to claim that's there. Because then you make that sale and you just look like a dick later, you know, and that's not good for your business long term. It's not good to sell things and then to be like, oh, I knew that might not have been it, or I wasn't really sure and I just kind of hoped it was there, but thanks for your money. Like, they find out 2 years later. That's just not good. I mean, we're all going to have things that come up, okay? We're all going to have a snake that sometime leaves, we get the genetics wrong. It's going to happen. We're all going to have snakes that are going to leave and we get the sex wrong. It's going to happen. We're all going to have snakes we sold at a show or sold somewhere else, and a little bit later, they're going to pop out with a crawly or two because that shit can happen at a show or that shit can happen. You don't see it. And even if you treat, you know, eggs can be dormant in litter or wherever. It's going to happen. But how you handle those and how you handle your day-to-day is going to make up for your reputation. If you handle your day-to-day well, when that shit happens, you're pretty believable on that, hey, you know, that's not how I do business. That's how we're going to fix things. But when you handle your business by saying like, oh, I just think it's there because I want it to be there and I want more money, and you look like an ass because you're making claims you should have known better about, then that's not going to bode well long term. It's always better to be wrong for your customer and give them more than it is to be wrong for your customer and give them less. Just my thought process. But now we're going to talk about being sure on something. So this is a snake like we talked about. If you look here, there's only that little tiny patch of missing scales. Now this is a scaleless head. So when you get in and you look, you're going to notice that not all the scales are even. It almost looks pebbled in there. They're not all even size like the last one we looked at. There's a lot of variation in the scale size. They just don't look uniform completely. You know, and this one's not very apparent on it, but it's there. Then when you look at the butt, I'm going to bet we find a split tail on this one because most scaleless head tend to have that. Not all. Hey, get your nose in there. And there it is. You can see a split in that scale. This is a scaleless head. And this is a female. So this is where you can be confident because you've seen it enough. I've worked with enough of these, seen enough of these. That scaleless head 100% all day long. I can say it with confidence. I can sell it with confidence. I don't have to wonder about it. It's there. The other thing I can tell you, pastel, definitely there. Look at the belly. That's yellow belly pastel all day long. Super nice blushing through there, that pattern. There's no doubt the genes in this snake. This is a pastel, yellow belly, scaleless head female all day long. Every day, 100%, no doubt. So that's what I'm going to sell that many genes, what I want to be able to claim. Get your nose back on there. Go, okay, or don't. Because I can say it 100%, even though that the scaleless head part isn't by far is not the most prevalent form of scaleless that I've ever seen. I can say that gene's there, be right. You know, if somebody were to breed this snake and say, oh, I bred scaleless head to scaleless head and I didn't get any full scaleless, I don't think that one was actually scaleless head. I could stand by the fact that it is. I'm 100% confident in that, aren't I, little one? But the fire, I ain't 100% confident in that yet. So we're not going to claim it, and that's how you do things. Caleb, any questions about these little guys and girls?
No.
None at all, huh?
No questions.
We're making my life way too easy. All right, guys, I'll go back and put that label on in a second. It's in my hand. We're going to go ahead and hop off of here, label up, go talk to Patreon for a few minutes, talk about what our goals are with the scales, what we're going to do with these, and why we're still making scaleless head. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.